all to come here, to come and meet these candidates, because there's an $89 fee that you all pay that goes to AS, and you need to make sure it's being distributed adequately to meet your student needs. So with that said, I would like to call all the
I think that having open forums, honestly, there's a lot of opportunities for everyone to join an organization, join AS. There's so many different committees for so many different majors. I just think that we need to be able to have more open conversations for students to be able to join. It's kind of a daunting thing to join student government, and I want it to be less of that and more of how you think that your voice can really impact the community and impact the school.
Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joshua Romero. I am the current vice president running for re-election of vice president once again.
Hi, everyone. My name is Walter Ifeanyi. I'm a sophomore economics student. I'm running for the position of the vice president of Associated Students.
Okay, thank you. All right, so first question will be directed towards Walter. Walter, your question is, in your platform, you mentioned that you want to separate the major GPA from the general education GPA because you think it would be effective and efficient. If so, why has it not been implemented on the CSU system?
This is an issue that the CSU system has been having for a while, especially since 2007. It is an initiative that's been implemented in the UC system and other university systems in the country. So I feel that if we bring those initiatives to San Jose State and the CSU system, it would go a long way in impacting the lives of every student on campus.
Okay. Is there any rebuttal for that answer?
I actually do have a rebuttal. Thank you, Walter, for bringing up that point. What you notice now on campus, though, is that you see when you apply to scholarships and you see and a lot of majors require to ask for your GPA, they do ask for your major GPA and your cumulative SJSU GPA. Although it's not regulated at the moment, there is still such thing to access that on my SJSU to view what your major GPA is.
Okay, so I know this initiative already exists, that in my SJSU you can see your major GPA and your GE GPA, but the thing is the general public do not know about this initiative, and although scholarships ask for this, the general public and the economy does not ask for this, and it goes a long way in affecting the students who go into probation and the students who drop out because they end up getting scared of college as opposed to embracing the possibilities of college.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to Joshua. Okay, Joshua, your question is, since you mentioned that you have the most knowledge and experience to bring continuity to this role, do you feel that the AS Board of Directors will be at a big disadvantage without you as Vice President?
I think that's a loaded question. I think that, again, the verbatim what I said, I am the best candidate suited for this position because of my experience and knowledge of the university. I think that I would be a valuable tool to the next board of directors, and even if not elected, want to be able to bring my knowledge to that as well. I much prefer to be elected and to continue my role, but I do think that in bringing continuity, I also want to bring a new standard that can be bring into the vice president. As you, knowing the bylaws about it already and seeing what can already be done in my first term, I want to be able to expand on that role and skyrocket the potential of the vice president so that the vice president can be used more versatile and to work on more advocacy issues rather than internal directions.
Okay, thank you. Are there any rebuttals for that answer?
Yeah. So the question is, how exactly do you want to achieve those goals?
So you want to ask me how I want to achieve those? Wait, I'm confused. The question, the rebuttal, or? All right, no problem. How I want to achieve my goals in enhancing the role? Okay. Well, I do think that the vice president is more of an internal control type of position. What I want, because I have the experience and knowledge, what I want to do is make it more versatile by making it more advocacy driven. As you see, some of the things I've been working on is the the creation of the Student Senate to bring more representation to the decision-making process of AS. I think by doing so, we need to advocate to different organizations and going hand in hand with them to show them that that they are a priority on this campus. Another way to enhance the role of the vice president, is to also kind of show and highlight the internal role that it plays and how that can be used externally. Because a lot of the times, the face of the organization is the president. And what I want to do is to work alongside with the president to show and highlight issues within AS to highlight so that the students can know and so we can all work on a change inward rather than outward.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to...
Is there any other questions from the audience for the candidates for running for vice president? Any faculty and staff? All right, then that's why we have the alternative questions. So what will you prioritize when training the board? Whichever would like to go first.
Okay, so my first agenda would be to require every director who's running or who got elected to put forward their major agendas, and we would all vote and find out which one is more important through a round robin tournament. And once we have achieved a concrete agenda, we could move forward in deciding or creating legislations for those policies. I'm especially passionate about this election year because everyone's is geared towards improving the communication on campus, which is also one of my major pillars for my campaigning positions. And I believe as a team, we would accomplish great feats on this issue.
Awesome. Okay, I think one of the things we need to train the board when they first get here is to understand really what AS does for the campus. I think when there's a difference from when you get elected to what you do while you're in office. What you need to know when you go into AS, exactly the thing I want to begin the training on is AS 101. I think one of it has to do is understand what the bylaws are, understand what Robert's rules are, understand the capacity of the roles, and in training, having them learn kind of more of the internal system of AS, at the same time learning how to run a board meeting or learning how to conduct themselves within a board meeting so that the most productive, the most productive goals so they can help so that they can see what goals are feasible in their positions in their training, so that they can be able to use that and get a stable pillar on what they need to do, and then continue to expand on that as the time goes.
All right, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause.
So SJSU campus community, I see you all looking this way. Come on over to the candidate debates, get to know them, meet them. We will be reaching out to you to vote for them. So you want to make an informed vote. You want to come and ask these students questions and get to know what they're all about, why you should vote for them, how they will represent you. So I really encourage you all to come over and meet them and grab a VIG. Grab a VIG definitely, especially if you're on the way to class. You know, that's the fastest and quickest way to get to know them. All right, up next, if we could please have all candidates for president step up.
I'm here with Joshua Romero,
Round of applause for the
president candidate,
please.
and so I had a question for you actually. So multiple times in the debate, you mentioned your familiarity and knowledge of the campus. What did you do to immerse yourself here and get that knowledge?
Sorry, what's your name again?
Yusuf,
Josh, nice to meet you. So I guess some of the things that I did when I was on campus was put myself out to failure. I think that immediately I joined Delta Sigma fraternity when I was a freshman. Immediately I joined Men Creating Change. Immediately I joined AS. In high school, I didn't really have that experience. I didn't have that I didn't have the time or the ability to do that. I think.
Actually, we're gonna have to. That's all.
And minoring in biomedical engineering. Hello, everyone. My name is Hector Perea. I'm the intern coordinator for the Chicano Latino Student Success Task Force, and I'm a business major, and I'm also running for president.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Mateo. I'm a second-year entrepreneurship major with an emphasis in international business.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Joshua Leon. I'm a freshman, and I'm a poli-sci major, and I'm running for president.
Okay, thank you. All right, first question will be directed to Eric. Eric, according to your platform, many of the initiatives that you plan to advocate for are already active on campus. What is a new initiative that would be feasible as AS president?
Yeah, so all of my initiatives are something that AS has been working on for quite some while, and some are new that are just being implemented. And so my initiative is to pretty much enhance and pretty much set a foundation where future presidents are able to elaborate, and we're just once they get their position, they're able to like pretty much look at the bylaws, look at the legislation, and just get hands-on working. And they wouldn't be going back and forth trying to figure out what this past president wanted to do with this certain legislation. So that's why I've been focusing on my 3 major initiatives: the success centers for everyone, every group and identity here on campus, campus in the city to improve the campus climate around the campus surroundings, and kind of just to promote the Spartan culture outside of the campus. And then the last one, it's the Spartan Squad app. I want to enhance that, kind of to like meet students halfway. Again, there's a lot of things that go into the actual SJSU website. It sends you to different pages, and so that's not really accessible and really like meeting the students halfway. So I really want to get this app because nowadays everyone uses apps, and so this app, okay.
Okay. Are there any rebuttals for that answer? All right, we're going to move on to the next candidate, Alora. Alora, your question is, how do you feel that the initiatives you have will adequately represent AS and bring about change to SJSU?
Well, I strongly believe that we need to not only effectively manage stress on campus and teach students how to do that, we need to set up workshops in order for that to happen. Also, in consideration of the current climate of the campus, we need to address certain situations regarding leadership, and we should build workshops around team building and incorporate everybody involved in that.
Okay, thank you. Any rebuttals? All right, move on to the next candidate, Hector. Hector, how will you improve the campus climate to fulfill the various needs of more than 33,000 students?
So I currently sit on the President's Commission for Diversity, and actually today we hosted a conversation on the campus climate here at SJSU. What I want to do is to improve the climate, I want to take a student-centered approach that involves everyone in this community. That would include faculty, staff, and administration. I'm just going to set this as an example. Last year I drafted 2 resolutions which asked for support for underrepresented students. Our student voice was able to be empowered, and as a result, the university is going to move forward with establishing all of the 3 centers. With that same approach, by empowering our students and gathering everyone in this community, I feel like if we sit down, have conversations, and realize that there's different layers to each one of us at SJSU. For example, one of us can be undocumented. One of us can identify ourselves as being underprivileged due to financial situations. So I feel like the better SJSU understands that there's different layers to how we are oppressed, the better we can improve our campus climate.
Okay, thank you. All right, are there any rebuttals for that? Okay, moving on to the next candidate, Joshua. How do you feel that associated students can further assist students here at SJSU? Give an example.
So I'm gonna stand over here because I think I'm more comfortable. As we have heard all these candidates talk about great initiatives, great plans that they're trying to bring to the students. They're trying to bring to more than 30,000 students. But what's the whole point of talking about initiatives and plans and activities when the greatest problem that an associated student has is the communication with students? The problem is not the money. We have the money. There's $7 million. Each student is paying $89. So that's not the issue. The issue is the communication. So I think one of the great initiatives we need to do is go out there and reach for the students. Understand me? What AS needs is a revolution. We need a revolution here at SJSU. We need to revolutionize AS so it can actually be a pillar, for student success. I want to hear students to, say when they graduate, I was able to succeed thanks to associated student. And there is many concerns, many issues that need to be addressed. There's still a lot of racial issues going on here at school. We have, recently the students strike. Many students have doubts that, tuition is going to remain the same, because, the teachers did get a 10% raise. We also have, the lack. Students are still dropping out. I have a lot of friends that are going to drop out next semester because they're not feeling that connection with the school. And I think it's AS' responsibility to actually, it's their responsibility, and that's what each candidate right here is signing up for, to work and represent the interest of the students, right? And I know that, the AES already has communication and social media with the students, but I think that is not enough. I think more needs to be done. You understand me? So I think there is many initiatives that we need to work on, but I think our primary goal is to focus on communication. That should be one of our greatest concerns AES should really look into. So thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Are there any rebuttals for that answer?
Just give us a minute before we need to see how much time each of you has. So it was Alora. Who else raised their hands? Eric and Hector. So Alora, you 3 minutes 35 seconds. So you can go ahead and start your rebuttal.
Thank you. Well, he mentioned that money is not an issue, but money definitely is an issue. We don't have $7 million here. We need to better allocate our resources and make sure that all the student organizations are funded and that everything we have is for our student success and wellness here at San Jose State University. That's all I have.
Okay. 1 second. Did you guys hear that? Okay, so you and Hector and Eric, you guys both have 3 minutes.
Yeah, so one of your major, I guess, pillars were kind of to improve retention. And so what's your strategy to go about initiating, or kind of like, what's your goal in terms of like improving retention so that we could have less dropout students, or the less of a dropout rate for students?
Because I want to answer everybody's question in one. I want to respond to her. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to touch on something that was mentioned. I don't feel like there's an issue with communication, but that's not the biggest issue. Thanks to Associated Students passing a resolution, and we were able to have the university make a huge capital investment to create, I'm going to keep saying this over and over because I want you guys to understand, to create 3 student resource centers. And that happened because the student's voice was empowered through resolutions that came through Associated Students, which represents all the students on campus. So communication, I don't feel like is necessarily the issue. And I would just like to add on to the question mentioned by my person on the left. There's more than just retention. If we improve retention, pretty much what we're saying is that we're going to keep the students here forever. We also need to focus on graduation. So I feel like all of us need to understand the definition of retention. It's not just about increasing it. If you have everyone staying here on campus, they're never going to graduate.
Okay, so Joshua, you want to answer those rebuttals?
Yeah, I wanted to first go on the money issue. We have $7 million that AES controls, and I think those $7 million, can help and are enough because many of our students out here are struggling with money. For many students, those $89, can help them in various areas. Now, going back to the communication, yes, it is a problem. Why you think there's nobody here? Where's everybody at? Where are all these students at? And I'm pretty sure all of them have free time, but where are they at? So if I was president, I think, and like you said, what am I going to do to go out there and reach those students? I have 2 legs, I have 2 hands, and I have a voice. And I'm going to go out there and reach all those students. And, it's not about what I want, it's about what the student wants. Because this is not, if AES wants a real revolution, this is not my revolution, it's you guys' revolution. So that's my response to all of you guys. Hopefully, I did respond correctly.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to the last person, Jared. Your question is, you mentioned 350 plus hours of leadership and social justice training. What social justice issues have you been involved in?
There's, honestly, trying to look back to it, there's just so many. I was on the floor where the hate crime happened. I was part of some of those conversations. I was trying to support my fellow students as they went through that. As I became a resident advisor, we started talking about diversity and inclusion, the big 8, and how race, gender, religion, ethnicity, size, ableness, all affects us. We all come to SJSU with the weight of our identities on our back, and to see them either not really like highlighted, like 45% of students that go to SJSU are self-sustaining. Like they pay for their own housing, they pay for their own food. And how does that look when it comes to classes? Like we all have so many things that are affecting us day in, day out. And sometimes we think we're alone. We think that we're the only ones going through this. But in reality, there's a lot of the students are feeling this. If you look at the survey results from the Campus Climate Survey, a lot of students are feeling either the microaggressions that go around campus, the hate and the derogatory terms that we might hear from professors or Greek and non-Greek people or different cultural organizations. Yes, SJSU is very diverse, but what are we doing with it?
Okay, thank you. Are there any rebuttals for that? All right, let's check your time. Okay, Hector, you have 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want a point of clarification. Was the question, how have you been involved in social justice?
What social justice issues have you been involved in?
Okay, I feel like there's a big difference between training, which is part of the institution, versus actually going out there and being in grassroots movements. I've been part of the Black Thursday rally that happened over here. I've been part of the student demonstration that started actually right behind me and led up in front of the president's ice cream social, which led to the university support in helping underrepresented students. I've been a part of Poverty Under the Stars, which is right here, which aimed to increase the issue we have with homelessness around our community. So I've been a part of a lot of different movements. I don't believe it's necessary to go through training to become aware of what the real issues are on campus. And my whole thing is just about raising awareness. It's not just becoming involved in student movements, but raising awareness. One of the biggest things that I want to work for is increase our accessibility. I'm going to give you guys an example. Where we're standing at now is not accessible with students in wheelchairs. This is something that happens because students aren't aware, the university isn't aware of issues like this. So I think the biggest difference between me and the other candidates is that I am aware of this. I am meeting with different faculty, administration, and students, and I am becoming of grassroots movements that start off with us, with the students.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, you have 55 seconds.
Going back again to the communication, yes, see, what I'm trying to say here is that communication is vital here in AS. Like I said, and many of the racial issues that are going is because the lack of communication the school has within the students. Frats, organization, all of these have, are gaining people in, but I don't feel they're the ones, bringing these issues on the tables. For them, everything is about the party life and everything. So I believe AS, should be here. Like I said, communication, bringing it back to the communication skill. Between AS, going out there and reaching out students is vital, and that is the important thing. If we do have that communication, we have that. Connection with all the students, I think we can bring and push all these initiatives, all these events, all these activities each of us have.
Time. We're going to go over how many time each of you guys have left for questions, so give us a moment. Okay, Joshua, you have reached your time limit, so that means you cannot speak anymore. Okay, Alora, you have 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Jared, you have 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Hector, you have 1 minute. And Eric, you have 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay, so these are questions that some of the audience has wrote.
So right now, is there any audience member who has questions on their little paper? We already have 2 submitted, so if I will be taking those now, please. So if you wrote a little question on a little paper, please give it to me. Okay. Go. Are there any other candidates who were not able to give their debates because they were not here when their position was called? And would you like to still go up and give your, get your question answered? Okay, Director of Business Affairs, would you still like to run up and, would you still like to go up there and answer the question that we had prepared for you? Because if there's no other candidates, then we're just gonna go up till 3:30 because there's a lot of questions in line. But if you would like, we're being fair to all candidates, so then that means no. Okay. So just give us like 2 minutes to decide if we're gonna be giving you all time or not.
All right. So I'm here with Walter Ifiani, running for vice president, and my question for you is, how would you go about making international students transition to SJSU life a little easier?
Okay. So there's a lot of resources on campus aimed at helping all sorts of international students transition into the social life on campus. But the problem is that those resources do not get to them. So hopefully the app that I want to introduce will go a long way in getting those resources that the ISS office provides to the students who are coming from outside the country so they can transition smoothly into the social life on campus.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you. 3 minutes to answer the questions, and we gave that based on the highest person's time.
All right.
Are you? Yes. So, is that fair with everybody? That was a decision taken by the SEC. Y'all can look at the bylaws if y'all want later. If any of you would like to come and sit down, come and take a seat. Other than that, we're going to start the audience questions. Can I ask my own question? Did you? Okay. Yeah, of course. So the first question, does any audience member want to answer their own question, or you want us to answer it? Actually, Jerry, we're just going to go ahead and answer all of the questions, yeah. Okay. So, Boone? First question, and that goes to...
All right, this question is for everyone. Oh, sorry, this question is for... Everyone? Okay, for everyone. Sorry about that. Okay, so here the question is, as you know, SJSU prides itself on our diverse student population. With that being said, what have you done for the diverse, undocumented community, and what will you do for this community as president, and how will you represent this community's interests?
Okay, I'll answer that. So what I've done so far, I held Associated Students accountable for a resolution that they passed in 2010 claiming that they were going to support undocumented and/or AB 540 students. After discussion, we pretty much came to a conclusion that the resolution was just a stance, but nothing was done to follow through with that. So my response to that was a demonstration we had here, which led to the ice cream social with the president, asking the president to address the issues of this specific community. After that, I drafted a resolution that asked the university to support a student resource center for the undocumented and/or AB 540 population on campus. With that, it brings me great joy to say that the university is moving forward to this, and pretty soon we're going to have a center thanks to the students becoming empowered through resolutions and actions that I've personally taken a duty to accomplish.
So I'm currently working on a nonprofit organization to help underprivileged and underrepresented youth find means of education, all that entails. I feel like it's not just the minority population that we need to look at here, but it's everybody as a whole. The underrepresented youth could be the minority, but it could also be those that are struggling financially.
Okay, thank you. Next person.
I guess I would say the way that I have advocated for that specific group is by becoming a part of that committee, which Hector was able to form because of his efforts and because of the efforts of the students. I really wanted to be a part of that process, a part of bringing those resources and finding out how to best support the students. I understand that the struggle of the undocumented student is very real. I have cousins who are transferring it. I have one cousin who's transferring into SJSU, and it was such a mission for her. And even just hearing her experience, like, I'm able to understand, like, the tribulations that go through that. So I guess my form of advocacy is by becoming aware and by sharing that experience with other students and by sharing it with my residents, my freshmen through orientation, between staff members, and just really raising awareness. Awareness changes things.
All right, thank you. Next person.
So my way for advocating for that, it's I'm an underrepresented. I am pretty much a Chicano Latino student that had no, I guess, path to follow coming into college. You know, I'm the first person from my family to ever attend college or university, if you would call it. And so my process for kind of advocating for AB 540 students specifically, or Chicano Latino students, is kind of like having my own persona out there, pretty much being an example for other students to follow. Again, I've been involved with residence halls this past semester, and I've pretty much advocated within regional and national conferences, PUCR and UCR, kind of to be more inclusive. We passed legislation that allowed for all the residents nationwide to be more inclusive to not just your cultural background, to like the capability that you have to just be more inclusive to anyone that really wants to get involved or anyone that really wants to have an impact to the community.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I don't know if I can add more to what my opponent said. I do agree with them. I believe that, you know, there should be the AS should have greater workshops for these groups because, you know, many of these groups are vulnerable, you know, in dropping out. For me, coming to university, a freshman, Mexican-American boy, you know, it's hard, you know, coming to school is really hard. You know, you don't know a lot of things. You're on your own, and you know, I can really feel the struggle. You know, all of these sometimes these undocumented people, you know, feel. So I believe, yeah, we should go out and reach out for them. You know, create more workshops. You know, help them figure out. You know, help them through the path of college. You know, and you know, many of these students, you know, come from, you know, different backgrounds, you know, so, you know, help them adjust to this new American, you know, college environment, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Just to clarify, you don't all have to answer the question if you do not wish to. So it's up to you all, and you guys can rebuttal as well. The same format goes. You just have a limit of 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So would I be able to rebuttal right now to the answers given?
Yeah. Yes, you will, but just remember your time. Would you all like an update on the time?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Alora, you have 2:45. Jared, you have 2:20. Joshua, you have 2:10. Eric, you have 2 minutes left. And Hector, you have 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay, I'll just be quick. I just want to make it a point so everyone understands. It's not just being aware and raising awareness about the issues we face. It's about taking action, and I really believe that I've showed that.
Well, the thing is actually being aware. You know, we cannot talk about, you know, I'm gonna say this because I like to give credit to everybody. This Mexican politician said once, you know, we cannot talk about the future when we don't talk about the present. And to understand the present, we must understand the past. You know, so we need to be aware of the things, and we need to be aware about the things that happened before. So, like, if we want to talk about them in the future, we need to. Sorry, I kind of messed up right there. We need to be aware about the history and about the things that are happening right now so we can be able to talk about the initiatives we're going to make in the future. Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next question. So this question is directed to all of you. As Ariana had said, you have the option that you want to answer or not. It's up to you. Okay, the question is, 1 in 3 students don't have enough money to eat 3 meals a day. This means that 11,000 SJSU students faces this issue. What are you doing to combat this issue?
Hector, Alora, Joshua.
Okay, so what I've been doing so far is raising awareness about the issues we have, and I actually co-drafted a resolution to ask for support from the university to establish a centralized food pantry space and overall help students that are going through these difficult times. With that said, we are going to vote on that resolution this Wednesday, so I encourage all of you guys to go, but that was possible because of not just educating others and not raising awareness, but actually taking action.
I believe there should be more programs in place to ensure that all students are receiving a sufficient amount of food to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I plan on working with Spartan Shops and the food pantry in order to collaborate with them and make these goals possible.
Yeah, like my opponent said, it's important because a lot of students do go hungry, and a lot of them do not say anything because it might be embarrassing. Because let's face it, it's reality. This school is squeezing every single penny they can from our pockets, and it's true. That is reality. I'm not talking about the school, but it's reality. So I think right now the garden that AS has, that is a really good plan, and I think should be expanded. And one thing that I think we should also say is not to be embarrassed. You should not be embarrassed of going hungry. So I think we should also be aware of that.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to the next question. This question is also geared toward everyone. So this question has a bunch of questions put together, so you can have the option of answering either one.
No, sorry, just to clarify. What is the question you would like to answer? Because it can only be one question per submission. So it says, how would you address communication if that is a problem? Please give an example. How would you achieve this? So, addressing communication? Okay, how would you address achieving communication with the students? And she would like a specific example. So it was Hector, Eric, and that's it. And Jared. Hector, Eric, Jared.
So specific examples, I brought up the fact that we have huge communication gaps on campus to the President's Commission on Diversity, to the Chicano Latino Student Success Task Force, to Associated Students, the marketing team, and I've been meeting with other staff and administration on campus, for example, Mosaic, and the importance of providing history, context, and more of a purpose to any type of initiatives we have on campus, while also closing those communication gaps.
My specific example is going back to this Associated Students app that could pretty much simplify everything that's on the SJSU's websites to this app with just a minimum amount of tabs, and where pretty much you have all this information on the palm of your hand. Pretty much tabs, resource centers, tabs that pretty much has all these stuff that Associated Students funds and all the things that students can benefit from that they aren't aware of. So that's my way.
So earlier today, there was a forum on campus climate. It was advertised to the students, but not very well, because if you looked at the room, it wasn't even packed. Most of the people in there were staff, administration, and least of all, it was students. And something we were talking about is, why are we having these meetings when students are in class from 10 to 12? Why aren't students more a part of this process? Why isn't it advocated more? Something that recently was advocated for and students really, really knew about was the CFA strike. Why? Because every faculty member was talking about it. Everybody knew about it. If we had more communication across faculty, staff, administration, through open forums like the one we had, make it institutional where it's once a month, twice a semester, whatever it takes, that's how you would develop your communication.
Alora?
Yeah, somebody mentioned earlier that they believed that we should offer extrinsic value to certain situations to get students out there. I think that would be a great motivation. Also, we can kill two birds, one stone, give them food, feed the kids, feed the children.
All right, thank you. All right, next question. This question is for Laura. So Laura, the question is, what do you think, what is the current campus climate as of now?
The current campus climate right now is pretty unsteady. We're all unsure of what's going on. Basically, there's been a lot of back and forth as to whether or not the ruling and the verdict was fair, and I don't think it was fair at all. There should be initiatives taken in order to take steps forward to a better climate on campus. Predominantly, we need to focus on team building workshops just to get the word out there that everybody is different. You know, we should celebrate our differences. Diversity is golden. It's something that we should embrace. Also, we are one. All of us are one. We're all the same in addition to that, and we need to know that. We need to see this through team building workshops, leadership workshops, in collaboration with Mosaic and student involvement. I'd like to get involved with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this one's for all of you as well. So as AS president, what is one issue, if you could only choose one issue that you would want to see fixed? Is Hector, Eric, Jared, Alora, Joshua?
The biggest issue is improving our campus climate. I feel like by improving our campus climate, student success is gonna be better. And I don't really see the need of an application or anything of that sort while we're having super racist remarks being made on campus, not just students with students, but also faculty, administration, and staff, as you can see at the campus climate survey results were made. So I feel like campus climate should be all of our priority, regardless of what other initiatives we want to push.
One of my priorities would be the communication and the transparency that AS has with its students and its student orgs. I feel like if we can improve the communication and the transparency and get every student org, every person that really wants to make a change in the community, we would really have a strong voice and not just a voice of 16 people and more so of a couple thousand.
I would have to agree with Hector saying that campus climate is one of the bigger issues on campus, and I say this through like qualitative experiences, like firsthand experiences where I've heard people use microaggressions or speech of hate to like really just offend like other students, and I'm like, where's this divide coming from? We've had diversity sessions integrated at Frosh Orientation where students came in and they learned more about that. And even going into a first-year residence hall, I didn't really see that fully come into effect because it's not institutional. Even though we're spreading awareness and awareness changes things, I would earlier it was said that those trainings, like, they're not enough. I don't know if that was, but that's what I heard. Those trainings are institutional. We can make those trainings, social justice and diversity and inclusion trainings, more like consistent across every department. Every faculty, administrations, staff, students will all be able to understand each other's experience and respect it, come together as one.
I also agree with the two of them. I believe campus climate is one of the biggest issues on campus here today. And earlier, somebody mentioned that there were racist remarks made by some professors, and I haven't seen that. But if that's really the case, we need to send these professors back into training. There needs to be a survey taken on campus to see if this is actually what's going on here, in addition to the leadership workshops.
Okay, Eric.
How much time do I have?
Joshua. Yeah.
You have 1 minute left.
Well, I'm just gonna sum things up. Like I want to bring it back again. I think communication is one of the most important things. There's a saying in Spanish, you know, hablando se entiende la gente, meaning that talking is how people understand. You understand? I hope I can see greater communication between students, faculty, and the AS House. And that's what AS House is for. AS is that foundation where students can come and, you know, voice, you know, their concerns, their issues. And there's a lot of things going on here. And it's pretty sad that in 2016, here at San Jose State University, a really diverse university, by the way, is still passing through racist situations. And yes, myself, I did encounter a racist remark in my building in Joe West. I'm not going to go into details, but I think if we work on communications, you know, everything else, you know, we can work with it as it comes through the way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to the next question. This question is for everyone. Okay, so The question is, how do you plan to reach out to underrepresented minority students? So who wants to go first? Hector? Oh. Hector? Hector, Alora, Jared.
Can I get it up, or how many more questions is there? Because I don't want to use up all my time if there's relevant questions still ahead.
There's 4 more questions. This one's out. 3 more questions.
Okay, and can I get an update on the time that I have, please?
Alora, you have 45 seconds left. Jared, you have 1 minute left. Hector, you have 50 seconds left. And Eric, you have 1 minute and 20 seconds left.
Okay, just for the sake of time, this is a really important issue, which I don't feel like 50 seconds is going to give justice to it. So with that said, I encourage all of you to visit hectorforpresident.com, and you can find more information about that. I'm going to leave the rest of the time to the following questions.
So I've already mentioned this. I am focused on helping students by ensuring that they have adequate amount of food. And as underrepresented youth myself, I feel it is important for the vital success of the student body to have the right amount of food and resources available to them to succeed.
The way I intend to reach out to this population is going to where the students are at. These students are involved with different cultural organizations through various different means, through leadership. They go on retreats. If we can go reach out to each one of those organizations and foster that community collaboration, best practices between each one of them, we can begin to come together as a culture, as a group, as a underrepresented group, and as students.
Can you repeat the question again?
How do you plan to reach out to underrepresented minority students?
So again, I would go back to this app, kind of meeting the students halfway. Not every student here at SJSU is involved. I would say about 20% of the student population here out of the 33,000 students are involved with a student org. That meaning we have a huge number of commuter students here at State. We have people that aren't really involved because they just want to get through college. There's people that don't have the background that pretty much where they have the capability of juggling work, juggling school. So they're just pretty much trying to juggle school because they don't have that background that could pretty much push them to like juggle more than one thing. And I feel like meeting them halfway with this AS app, meeting them, pretty much telling them that you have all these resources here for you. You have all these people that care about what you need as a student, reaching out, pretty much having this app, palm of their hand. Again, everyone really needs something that's really accessible for them.
Was that it? All right, thank you. Moving on to the next question. So who still have time left? Let's go over that first. Okay, Laura, you have 30 seconds.
Alora, you have 30 seconds left. Jared, you have 40 seconds left. Hector, you have 45 seconds left. And Eric, you have 35 seconds left.
Okay, so the question is, this is for everyone. How will you work to make sure all marginalized groups, including but not limited to LGBT, Asian, Latino, Latina, Hispanic, African American, etc., are respected and included on campus? Hector and Jared. 1 second. Hector, and then Jared.
Okay, I've never been a person of a lot of words. I prefer action. So I'm just going to tell you, I want to use the same approach that I used to empower our African American students, our Chicano Latino students, and our undocumented and AB 540 students. By following the same approach, which is becoming informed on data, related initiatives, and holding the administration accountable, that approach will lead to a better representation of all.
The way I wish to foster community within this group is by providing additional community summits and open forums. The more students are able to understand their experience, the experience of others, and really just understand the social forces that are pulling against them and pushing against them, the more students will be able to form that community and really continue together as a group. Yes.
Is there any other candidates who still have time who want to answer that last question or rebuttal? Elena, if you could please update them on their time.
Alora, you still have your 30 seconds. Jared, you have, sorry, I marked the time wrong. Give me 1 second. You have 20 seconds left. Hector, you have 25, and Eric, you still have your 35 seconds.
So with that said, is there any last question? Only one. We can accept. Okay. Yes. For what candidate will it be? The only candidates who are able to speak are after Joshua. So yeah, no, Joshua unfortunately does not have time.
So whoever has time. So regarding the topic of the racial climate, despite the fact that we have history classes, what else can we do to make people understanding of other cultures on top of that?
Thank you for your question. It was Hector, Jared, Laura.
I think by empowering our students, we can get to a general consensus where every one of us is equal, and then talk about the differences that make us unique.
The way I see this really becoming, the way I see us stepping forward with this is collaborating with the Cultural Center, collaborating with Mosaic, having programming specifically like aimed at cultural awareness and cultural competencies. The more we can begin to understand why certain people do what they do or understand each other's cultures, the more we can begin to respect each other.
I'm going to add on to that. Yeah, I believe that it's very important that we do understand where everybody's coming from. A way that we can do that is by the team building workshops. If everybody gets involved with that, we can share with one another what we believe in and what makes us different. We can celebrate our differences and our diversity.
Thank you all. With that being said, I would like to give them a round of applause for staying here and for this debate. So before everybody leaves, I would just really like to thank everyone who participated in making this debate happen. I would like to give a shout out to our volunteers that are always here to help us set up this event. Like without them, this would not be possible. To my fellow officers, Boone and Elena, for making this possible, and Zuli Flores, which she's not here with us. To Spartan Daily for making it possible for this to be broadcasted in the Student Union and online. Shout out to them. Thank you so much for making this possible. And to all of you who attended and came and got informed of the 2016 candidates, this Wednesday, voting starts 6 p.m., April 13th. Online voting will be open, and then the following days, up to April 20th, we will have polling locations around campus. This Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. is also the elections barbecue kickoff, the voting kickoff, and the meet the candidates. So that'll be at the AS barbecue pits. There'll be food there. It will be more of a social aspect. You will be able to talk to each of these candidates individually, approach them with any questions you would have. So I really encourage all of you to come out to that. With that said, thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you at our next event. And remember to vote April 13th to April 20th. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm here with Shahram Athluri, who's going to be running for Director of Communications. And my question for you is, how are you going to help students get their voice out to make San Jose State a better campus?
I believe that other than having social media, because if you think about social media, not everyone accesses it, and then people just scroll by, and it brings down the momentum of what is actually necessary for people to know. And as of increasing the voice, maybe arrange some required forms in classes at intermittent timings throughout the semester to know what's going on, and then get those forms and take action upon it. And I feel like taking action upon that is very important, because even if you look at teacher evaluation forms, they say, oh, the teachers need to improve, but then barely anything is done. And I don't want to be that example. I want to be someone different who actually takes action when improvement is very necessary. And I will do it with the utmost conviction.
All right. Appreciate your time. Have a good one. You too.
So what'd you think of the debate?
I think the debate was very good. I learned a lot of information. Learned some stuff that you might not want to hear when it comes to teachers and funding and the stuff that happens with that. But
yeah, I'm really glad that the president's got that much time. Actually, the presidential candidates, because I don't know, they all seemed really vocal and really invested in this. So I don't know.
Yeah, timing was definitely an issue today. People not getting enough of it. But what are you gonna do?
All right, get a little closer. Sorry. All right. So, hey, so I'm here with Alora, Frederick. I have a question for you, actually. Okay. So, how have you helped represent, or how have you helped underrepresented minorities on campus?
I haven't had the opportunity to do much efforts on campus, but I do look forward to doing that once elected AS president. Right now, I'm currently a TA for the Department of Marketing and Decision Sciences and also the Department of Innovation and Leadership. So I'm working closely with my professors at the moment and the city of San Jose to help students at San Jose State.
Okay, nice. Let's see, I have another one. So how do you hope to, you mentioned student funding before, or AS funding. So how do you hope to better use student funding as president if you're elected?
I would like to look at more creative efforts on how to find funding. I really want to look outside of student fees for funding. Go to the corporations in the area and have them invest in our future because we are the future leaders of Silicon Valley and the University of the nation.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time.
That's it? That's all you have? Thank you very much.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know.
All right. So, we're here with Hector, who's also running for president. All right. So, my question for you is, what are some areas of concern at San Jose State, and what are you planning on doing to change them?
I feel like there's two biggest areas of concern for me. One, campus climate, because I feel like that's all encompassing, and the other one is accessibility in our university. So with campus climate, I feel like by improving the climate we have, by uniting all the community members of SJSU, we can really accomplish a lot. And with students feeling better about themselves, students not fearing cases of discrimination, of racism, they're going to do better academically as well. The next one is I want to make our campus more accessible. I'm going to use this as an example. This event wasn't wheelchair accessible for all those with disabilities. So with that said, it's just about creating awareness and making this a collaborative approach. It shouldn't just be one division or one department in the university. It should be as many as possible to actually implement any type of change. And kind of like the theme of everything that I've been pushing is really empowering our students. It doesn't matter if there's a lot of awareness. It doesn't matter if people know what certain individuals go through. We really need to become empowered and be purposeful in creating change.
So, I mean, there wasn't much of a student contribution here. What do you think needed to be done for that to change? Do you think maybe the location could have been like maybe in the student union, somewhere where the students are going to have to be, whether they like it or not, and they'll just listen?
I think that Associated Students, unfortunately, hasn't always been known to really be in the student movements that go around on campus. They don't necessarily know everything that goes around with the student community. The more initiatives and the more meetings that take place that actually relate to the students, the better students are going to become aware of Associated Students. We're at a pivotal point right now with the announcement of the 3 student resource centers. As soon as students become aware that this was something implemented through Associated Students would then become known more for not just giving away free shirts and having events. They would be known for actually empowering the students and implementing change.
Okay. All right. Those are our questions. Appreciate your time. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Good luck. That's actually a very good point. Them not being wheelchair accessible here is definitely something that people should have thought about.
No, that's true, and I really like how you brought up that we could have changed the location to improve the turnout. I mean, there are probably so many people at the student union right now, like not even doing anything, just trying to decompress. And I mean, if you're going to be there relaxing anyways, you could relax and, fill yourself in on this stuff, right?
Yeah,
this affects all of us.
I mean, it's the students that this is all here for. I mean, it's not for the school without the students, It's for the students' benefit, for the school's benefit.
Okay, so actually we have another of our presidential candidates, Jared Garcia.
How's it going?
How's it going? I have a question for you, actually. So, you said you were involved in the 2013 hate crime to an extent. You said you were on the floor.
Yeah, I lived on that floor, and it was actually some of my friends who knew the guy personally. I knew the guy personally, and it was really just tough to see like it happen as it unfolded. Because in the beginning, like everyone else really didn't know what was going on. It was that room, and then like maybe one or two other people, and they would kind of share like here and there, like, oh, I heard this and this happened. I heard this and this happened. And even like some of the resident advisors, like hearing their side of the story, like it's really hard. Because I lived on the opposite side, and in CVC, like I don't know if you've seen the structure of the building, but it's really not like. It's hard to tell what's going on inside the rooms.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to know, how do you feel that will influence your platform as president if you were elected? Like bearing witness to that.
Bearing witness to that, well, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of other experiences that really would better reflect my candidacy.
Okay.
And in terms of that specific incident, I don't know. It's kind of unfolded to University Housing Services as it unfolded to the rest of the residents. And I was there as like I saw like the media coming in. I saw like everyone coming in. It was on like I was able to get first account witnesses, and I feel like if people wanted to know more about it, I mean I wouldn't be able to disclose too much more about it, but it's definitely something that like has shaped like my leadership here on campus.
Okay.
Like and even having conversations with University Housing Services about the verdict, and like seeing the different staffs talk about like racism still exists. Like really, like how did that not count as a hate crime? How are they getting off with such little like punishments? You know, like where's the justice to that?
I think you voiced most of the student body's opinion on that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, appreciate it. Awesome. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that, once again, that's another serious issue that, I mean, you can't bring that up enough. I mean, that's something that the school definitely needs to focus on, and that's something that this presidential election definitely needed to take grasp of.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that there wasn't more talk about that among the presidential candidates, to be honest. Like, that is another, we're talking about things that literally affect every student. That's another one.
All right.
Yeah, so we have another one of our presidential candidates up here. Eric Mateo.
Yeah.
You're a presidential candidate. I have a question for you. Okay, so how do you feel you've been affected as a result of being an underrepresented minority on campus?
Yeah, so there's many things with that. I think one of the biggest things that I feel that I'm being underrepresented in is the communication that AS and the university has with its students. I'm not really well informed of the campus climate that's happening around campus. Again, I'm really involved with residents, with the resident life here at SJSU. So that's something that I'm really well aware, and something that within Res Life we promote pretty much the inclusivity for all race, non-biased, pretty much being inclusive to anyone that really wants to get involved within residents' life at San Jose State University. So again, it's really different from being an AS. And so like if I'm a really inclusive and really like open-minded person, so if I'm not being informed about the campus climate situation that's happening, there's something that's happening wrong with AS and the university. They need to do a better outreach. They need to like find new innovative ideas to like better reach out to students so that they are like pretty much just meet them halfway, so that pretty much do some catchy things so that these students are like, okay, what's this about? What's going on? And it's not just a long, boring paragraph where it's like, well, I'm not really trying to like read this email. They need to like figure out new innovative ways to like catch this the student's eye, kind of like to get them more involved, get them more pretty much informed, and so that these people can pretty much get better involved. And pretty much, if we unite the campus, then again we could make change definitely like overnight. And now we just have 16. Again, we have Hector, pretty much one person trying to do this initiative. If people can actually join him and be on board with him and have like a group of people and not just one person, it could be better. I guess better watch, and it could be better enforced for the university. But like, okay, this is a real issue happening, and so they're gonna implement new things. Kind of like the resolution that he drafted. It was a really, really good resolution. I really want to advocate next year to having pretty much a success center for every group and identity here on campus, because it's needed. Our San Jose State is a really diverse campus, and so we really need to like pretty much have resources for these students to like go to, a safe space for these students to go to outside of the classroom, outside of the social life here at SJSU.
So would you say that that's a way that that you would be like trying to meet students halfway.
Yeah, so
like you
again,
mentioned
it
before.
goes back to like the AS app that I really want to implement. Again, this generation is moving from just having these websites to like having an application that's really accessible for them to use. Again, this app can have a notification update. If something is happening on campus, if a forum, if something, a rally is happening, they could literally just be updated in the morning. Okay, update, this is happening today. Then and there, these students can be like, okay, do I really want to go? Do I really want to make time? Do I really want to use this hour instead of like going to my friend's house or chilling with my friends, and actually investing time in something that really matters to the students and to the university as a whole. So again, I really want to implement this app that could pretty much meet students halfway and be accessible for students, and not just be a lot of pretty much, again, big paragraphs where people are like, I don't really want to read all this, I just have a simple question to kind of meet them halfway with this app.
Okay, sounds good.
Definitely, sounds good.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Yeah, in this, in this type of world where, Twitter's limited to 140 characters. It seems like that's how much college students want to process. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about reading long 500, 600 word things. They just want their information quick as possible, and they want it as small as possible.
As painlessly as possible, too, which is probably, we could connect that also to why the turnout was so bad here today.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about this, honestly. I might have gotten an email, but I get so many emails of stuff that just doesn't even relate to me that sometimes the other ones go by. All right. So we have the final president. You can bring the final presidential candidate here, and Joshua Leon. All right. So my question for you is, if elected president, what would be your first change, and how would you go about it?
Like I said, one of the primary issues that AS has is the communication, with the students. Like I said, all of these candidates have great initiations, great events and programs that they want to push forward. But I believe that if we don't have that communication skills, that communication with the students, students are not able to engage, and get they're not able to. Sorry, about my phone. They're not able to get benefit of these programs, and something that is really sad that a lot of students were not here, and some of my opponents thought that the communication was not vital, but I think it's a pillar for for the AS to have that closer connection with AS, and I think like I said, many students are dropping out because they don't feel that connection with the university. And like I said, going back again, this is a communication, I think every single candidate, it's sad that many of the current the students here don't know the current president of AS. Like, what are those people doing out there wrong? We have frats, we have sororities, we have all these groups that gain hundreds of people every single semester. So what is AS doing wrong? They have the money already. The money's on the table. We don't have to worry about the money, So what are we doing wrong about not, reaching out there for the students? And I think one of the candidates say, I forgot his name, and I agree with him. We have two legs, we have two hands, we have voice. We can go all around because this is not even a big campus. So we have a lot of we have a lot of ways we can reach out for the students.
All right. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. So, you heard it here. The presidential candidates all feel that, for the most part, that they just need to get the students' voice. And they need to get the students to come and actually partake in debates like this.
Yeah, there seems to be some confusion or disparity between some of the presidential candidates. So, I've heard one of them, Joshua, who we just interviewed, has mentioned multiple times that the money is on the table, but then I heard another presidential candidate mentioning that there isn't money at all without really backing that up. I don't know. I'd be curious. I wish that they had mentioned that as well.
That's true.
They talked about that.
Yeah, there were definitely some opposing views when it came to where the money was and if there even was money existent. All right, and with that, for Yusuf, for the Spartan Daily, I'm Nick Avila. And voting April 13th through April 20th. through April 20th, 8th 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 through April 20th,